Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Cholula's Comics, and I'm here to bring you part of my DC Comics collection. The other day, I was on the Blaster Stash page, and I saw the homie Thomas Williams posted a Joker number 23.1, which is part of the New 52's September series run where they did the Villains Month. And basically, what happened was it actually started off with this storyline that I'm going to show off here called Forever Evil. And Forever Evil storyline was basically that all of the villains pretty much got together from the alternate evil universe. They got together in order to beat all of the superheroes. As you can see here, all the superheroes are kind of beat up behind, what is it, Ultraman? I think it's Ultraman. So this is issue number 1 of a 7-part series, and this is a variant issue of issue number 1 for Forever Evil. At the end of this series run, here we go. Here's another issue number 1. This is with the evil Wonder Woman, and this one shows off the evil Batman, which is actually Owlman. These are also variants of number 1. But at the end of this issue, in September, what they did was they had each hero's villain take over a certain issue of that comic book. So, for example, in September, Swamp Thing number 23 was actually taken over by Arcane. So you can see on the corner there it says 23.1, but over Swamp Thing, Arcane kind of wrote his own name and it says Arcane number 1. So what they did was they came out with regular covers, and they also came out with these 3D lenticular covers. I don't know how good this is going to show up on the video. I hope it does, but these are pretty cool because it's like 3D lenticular covers. And DC did that for every single issue that came out that month. So I'm going to show off the rest of mine. I pretty much collected the whole series. Here's Bane number 1, and I'm going to be showing these pretty much in alphabetical order. Here's the lenticular cover for it. And since these are lenticular covers, they actually stack up pretty quick. So I'm going to try to move these over, and we're going to keep it moving. Next is Bizarro number 1, the regular cover, and here is the lenticular cover. Here is Black Adam number 1, took over for the Justice League. Here's the lenticular. Next, I have Black Hand number 1, who, as we know, is the villain for Green Lantern. He was the one that started the whole Black Lantern, and here's a lenticular cover. Here is Black Manta, took over the Aquaman. So that's the regular cover. Here's the lenticular. This is actually one of the cooler ones, I think. Pretty cool. 3D cover. Here's Brainiac number 1. And here's the lenticular. Okay. Actually, I should probably move these now. Yeah, these are, like I said, you guys, these are a little bit fatter stacks of books. So I gotta make room faster. Here's Cheetah, number 1, the regular cover. And here's the lenticular, the 3D. That's a pretty cool one there. Took over for Wonder Woman. And some of them had multiples. So like this is Clayface, number 1, who of course took over for Batman, but it was in the, I believe it was in the Dark Knight series, I think is what it says back there. Well, that's a lenticular. Next we have Count Vertigo, number 1, took over for Green Arrow. This one, the video doesn't really do it as much justice as in real life. This one's a pretty cool one. All the lines there. This is another nice one. This is Quarter Owls #1. Took over for the Batman and Robin series. There's the lenticular. This is one of the ones that's a really nice cover, but the lenticular is not really, it's kind of wasted on this one because there's not a whole lot of movement on that cover. Here is the Creeper #1, who took over for Justice League Dark. Ooh, I'm gonna have to move that. So that one's a really nice one because it looks like his hand's moving forward. You can see the chain up front, which is pretty cool. Actually, we'll go ahead and move these now. Let's see. I think there's 52 total, so you're gonna have to bear with me, fellas. Here is Cyborg Superman #1. Took over for Action Comics. That's a cool one there. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Darkseid #1. Took over for the Justice League. Check that one out. That's a really cool one with the Omega Beams. That was a really nice one. Justice League of America is taken over by Deadshot. See all the groceries and stuff flying in the background, or whatever the hell that stuff is. It's not groceries, it's like bullets. I'm tripping. Dial M is one that has like candies and stuff, but I'll show you that one in a little bit. Here's Deathstroke #1. He took over the Teen Titans. Here's the lenticular. You can see the fire and stuff moving in the background, and it kind of looks like he's jumping out at you in front of the flames. Pretty cool one. Here's Deadshot #1, who is taking over the main title for Earth 2. Another cool one with flames and stuff, so that one's like really looks like it moves. I like that one a lot. Dial E, excuse me, not Dial M, but here it is, Justice League taken over by Dial E. That's the regular cover. Here's the lenticular. And that's what I meant was this one, like the candies are like jumping out, so that's what I thought the groceries were in the other one. Actually, I'm gonna move these now. Got a nice one coming up next. Is Doomsday takes over the Batman Superman series. That one's pretty cool. Like that one. Calypso, another one that took over for another Justice League Dark. That's another cool one right there, just because of all the stuff in the background and the dark energy that's moving. It's really cool. See Deadman in the background. Firstborn #1 took over for Wonder Woman. That's one I really like. Of course, you know it wouldn't be a Flash run without Grodd taking over. So here's the lenticular for Grodd. Next, this one I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right. This is either Hell or Hell. I think it's kind of like Kal-El, but he took over for Superman. You see he kind of has that backwards S on his chest. He looks like an albino Superman. That's the lenticular. Here's probably going to be a fan favorite for a lot of you guys out there. Harley Quinn took over for the Detective Comics. And here's the lenticular for that. She has her mallet. The playing cards in the background are kind of moving around, which is pretty cool. She's rocking the corset. That's a really nice one. I'm going to move these before the stack gets any bigger. Next, we got, and we're barely like halfway through the stack, guys. Joker #1. And here's the lenticular. That's pretty cool because the teeth kind of chatter. You see the gun moving. And the words ha 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 are everywhere, kind of like popping out at you. Here's the Joker's daughter #1. This one was a really pricey one to find. to track down and get. Here's the lenticular of that one. And to be honest, I read the story. The story sucked. I mean, this story was so bad that I thought I didn't get it. And I looked up other people's reviews of it online just to make sure it wasn't just me. And nah, that one was pretty bad. Here's Killer Croc, #1, who of course took over for Batman and Robin. And that's the lenticular. You can kind of see the bones and stuff flying in the background as he's thrashing around in the sewers. And Batman's chained up in the back here. Speaking of killers, we got Killer Frost next, who takes over for Justice League of America. Here's the lenticular for that one. And that one's really cool because it's like the icicles are coming out at you. You know, they really take advantage with all the, you know, some of them, it's kind of cheesy, the gimmicks that they use, you know, the 3D stuff that it's like coming at you, but I don't know. I mean, obviously I fell for it. I like them. Lex Luthor, #1, taking over for Action Comics. Here's the lenticular. That one. One of my favorites of all time, Lobo, #1. And here is the lenticular on this one. This one's a really nice one. And I don't mean my favorites as in one of my favorite covers. He's just one of my favorite characters. This is like a DC character that I followed ever since I was young, which is pretty bad because he's pretty gory. But this is a really cool cover. This is Man-Bat #1. And here's the lenticular for that one. Got all the bats flying at you in the background, which is pretty cool. That's how I really like this cover. I think he was done really well. He's really scary looking right there. And actually, this is starting to pile up, so let's remove these. Let's make some room, because we got a bunch more. Next is Metallo #1. And here's the lenticular. Took over for Action Comics. I believe almost every single title that was running that month in the New 52 got about 4 of them. So here is Mongol #1, took over for Green Lantern. Here is the lenticular for that one. Like that one. It's a cool one. Mr. Freeze #1. He took over for Batman Dark Knight or Arkham Knight or something like that. There's the lenticular. I really wish the video could do these things more justice, because these look really awesome in real life. Ocean Master #1 takes over for Aquaman. Lenticular for that one. That one's pretty cool because it looks like the water's thrashing around. Parasite #1, taking over for Superman. Kind of looks like he's reaching out at you, jumping off the page, off the cover. Penguin #1, taking over for Batman, of course. Batman does have the best villains, so he got a ton of these. And actually, let's clear some more space, make some room. We got some more books coming. So next we have Poison Ivy #1, taking over for Detective Comics. Here's the lenticular. This one's a really cool one. You can see the plant moving back and forth. Those Venus flytraps, which are bigger than Venus flytraps, coming at you. Ra's al Ghul #1. Ra's al Ghul in the League of Assassins. I do not say Ra's al Ghul, it's Ra's al Ghul. And here's the lenticular. Kind of looks like his cloak is coming off the page. I like that one. Relic #1, taking over for the Green Lantern. Reverse Flash #1, which is really cool because I love the color scheme, the black and red color scheme. And Looks like those darts and his claws are coming at you. It's a great cover there. Riddler number one. Little something left to be desired for me, personally. But all in all, not a bad cover. Rogues number one. The Rogues number one. Of course, we know the Rogues is the Flash's villains. So, Captain Cold, front center. Scarecrow number one, taking over for Batman. Detective Comics. Here's the lenticular for that one. That one's pretty cool one, actually. You know what? Let's make some more room because we're almost done. We are almost done. As you can see, I just pretty much went through these in alphabetical order. Secret Society, number one. So you got a Mazo, Copperhead, and the Joker on this lenticular. Shadow Thief, taking over for Justice League of America. And here's the lenticular. Sinestro, number one, taking over, of course, for the Green Lantern. And as you can see, this is 23.4, so you know Green Lantern actually had 4 villains take over for his title series in that month. Sinestro being the 4th. Solomon Grundy, number one. Kind of interesting the way they chose to draw him in the New 52. I don't dislike it, but it's definitely different than what you're used to from the traditional looking Solomon Grundy. He looks more zombified, he looks more evil. Whereas before he looked more like, he looks more demonic and zombified here, as opposed to like the old school zombie way they used to draw him. Here's Trigon, number one, taking over for, of course, for the Teen Titans. And that's a really cool cover. Again, another one of those ones that this video is probably not going to do as much justice as it deserves. Two-Face, number one, taking over for Batman and Robin. And this one's pretty cool because the coin flips. And we just got a couple more. But I gotta clear some room. We're almost done. Ventriloquist, number one. This one was a hot cover. A lot of people were after this one. New 52 Ventriloquist, of course, is female, as opposed to traditional, the male ventriloquist. And finally, last but not least, better kneel before Zod. Zod number one, of course, taking over for Soups in the Action comic. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing some more videos showing off my DC comic collection. I don't have a ton of DC stuff. I mean, maybe all in all, I have about 10, maybe 10 short boxes or so, just around there. Most of my DC comic stuff is stuff like this, where it's runs, where it's collections, where it's all like themed or themed variants or stuff like that. So I'm going to start doing some more videos like that, just because they're easier. I have them more in order, because there's less of them. My Marvel comics, I have much more, so they're absolutely not in any any specific order, and I got to get on that. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions about it, feel free to hit me up in the comments below. If you liked it, you know, shoot me a like, shoot me a sub, appreciate it. Like meeting new people on here, exchanging thoughts and stuff on this whole comic thing. So without further ado, I'm gonna let you guys go. Until next time, it's Cholula's Comics. Keep stacking hella comics.